What do you think is more important in the long term, being that friendly neighborhood cop or leaning more toward that enforcer in that more military kind of way?
So for me, I don't think that we need to get too militant, because that's when we start pushing more towards the warrior side of things.
Right.
There has to be a balance. In order to be a really good warrior, you got to have some guardian in you. And in order to be a guardian, you got to have some warrior. You got to know when evil shows up at the doorstep, that's when the warrior has to come out of the guardian. Right. And when there's innocent people or there's people on the streets that need defending, that's when the guardian has to come out of the warrior. I think that it's just a balancing act, and it's tough. A lot of guys get into this business and that's their mentality. They're warrior mentalities, and they're going to go out on the streets, and they don't care who gets in the way. They don't care who they have to take down. They're going to make sure that whatever evil's out there, they're going to defend against. Right. And then we get these guardians that come in here and say, no, I've seen too many YouTube videos and too many memes and too many Instagram snaps and everything else of bad cops, and I'm never going to be that way. Those guys are just, they are what they are. They're just a bunch of mercenary warriors, and I'm not going to be that way. And that's are the cops that unfortunately sometimes we see get hurt, or the funerals we go to.
Is there any way you think that could be taught?
It can definitely be taught, because I've seen both. I've seen people that have come into this job, they had a little too much guardian in them, and we had to toughen them up. And I've seen guys that are just way too much on the other side of warrior, and we've had to back them off a little bit. You never want to pull that drive of the warrior. You want them to still have that drive and that full force ahead, but you also want them to understand that while they're full force, there's other people there that they may be running over, and we need to pay. Those are the people that we're protecting. Going into those high school classes and explaining to them, bringing them into the academy and talking to them in the academy, and really, really coaching them up in the academy, having good, strong FTOs, having good, strong sergeants in your department that aren't doing it just for the money. We need to go out and find these groups that are making all these videos and have all these negative things to say about cops, and those are the ones we need to encourage to come and educate and let them see and find that balance. We also need to maybe understand what they're going through. Okay, you had a bad experience with the cop. Was it just one cop? Was it several? Why was the experience bad? And then we need to come back, and then we need to teach these cops, these young deputies, and have them understand that, hey, the service you provided, because that's what we do, is we provide a service, wasn't the best service you could have provided, and this is why this group of people are upset. You're never going to please everyone, but at least if they say, hey, look, I don't like what that cop told me, or I don't like what that cop did. They arrested my mom, they arrested my dad, my son, whatever. But you know what? They were super professional about it. They were super nice about it. They explained everything. Didn't agree with them, but I get it. They have laws that they have to follow, and under the law, my son broke the law. And at least if we can get to that, once again, we're going to make the community a little bit better of a place. So we don't have to get over militant and say, this is the law, this is why we're doing it, and if you don't like it, too bad, we're the cops. Because that's kind of the military standpoint of things. It's go kill the enemy, go take out the enemy. We don't have to explain ourselves to anybody. The old days of hiding everything, hiding behind that wall, that cloak of, well, this is what we do, and we can't talk to you about it because it compromises, what we do in the department. We don't want people to know. Those days are long gone.
Yeah.
The body cam footage, all that stuff that you see on the internet, it's good. It just needs someone to more educate people as to what they're watching and why things went down.
Yeah, because they don't understand.
Right. They just see a group of cops beating up a dude. You get a 30-second cell phone clip of a bunch of cops beating a guy, and then of course everybody wants to jump on there and say, oh, these cops need to go to jail, and how dare they beat that guy. They don't show what happened 30 minutes before. So that's what we need to start getting to. Is I get it. Like I said, the 30 minutes before isn't sexy. That doesn't sell. The 30 seconds of these cops beating this guy, that's what sells. And then everybody wants to jump on the internet, and they want to leave thousands of comments, and you get millions of views on that 30 seconds.
Yeah. But
we don't educate the people on the 30 minutes before.
I know I went a little extreme when we talked about it before, and I said just wipe out law enforcement, the cops, and just bring in the military. Although I don't actually believe that.
Right.
But I thought that was a good argument against it, because people expect the military to act a certain way.
Right.
We see it in other countries. It's called communism. And when are people going to understand that we can't be that people, right? Like, we can't be the military, enforce the law by any means necessary, and also be perfect in everything that we do.
Mistakes are going to be made. As long as we're learning from those mistakes, we're not panicking about it. And I think that's what's kind of certain things have happened, where all of a sudden there's public outrage. So now the lawmakers panic and they take away certain things from us, certain techniques, whatever. And then it pushes us back even further. I think we need to stop panicking in those situations. Do we need more training in certain aspects? Are we undertrained? Or maybe we're overtraining and don't know. But as long as we stop panicking and just stop making these immediate law changes or these immediate, hot button issues, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, and we're transparent and we educate the public, I don't think we ever have to get to a military society where this is the military, we do what we do and live with it. You know what I mean? Where we have people under our thumbs because the military just comes out here and has you under the thumb, like in communist countries. And we just basically kind of keep pushing down the road that we're going. We just need to slow down on certain things. And like I said, I think I just discussed it about we just need to quit panicking every time something bad happens and changing laws just because of that.
Where did you see the tide start to turn from, yay, we love law enforcement, to, wow, you guys really suck?
It's the internet. It's social media.
You're such a boomer.
I mean, you really started seeing all the smartphones. I mean, smartphones kind of came on the scene about 2006, 2007, but it really took off right around 9 or 10. You can go on your phone and watch videos all day long of it. And that's what really turned everything.
Obviously, since law enforcement was created, I think it was probably disliked by many because there's also always going to be criminals out there.
Right. The thing is when I first started, if you had a bad interaction with law enforcement, even if you weren't a criminal, if you just had a bad interaction, if you got pulled over, that cop was rude to you, you could go and you could tell your friends and your family and you could tell people around you, and maybe it spread to a couple hundred people. But now that hatred has grown because, like I said, millions of people are seeing it constantly, day after day after day on their YouTube feeds or whatever. So that's where it changed. Everything changed.